Vuyisa Lungana Daily. It is love, it is truth, it is inspiration. Thank you so much for choosing to tune in and having a listen. Welcome to you. Burning issue is the Alex protest. The protests have been happening in Alex now for the past few days. I would say 3.5 days, because the day in today's day is not over yet. So once it's over, it will officially be 4 days. But Alex has been on a shutdown for the past few days, and people are just complaining about service delivery. And here's my take and my comments on what is currently happening in Alex. I mean, I've heard of people that have viewed or that have aired their views, and we've heard them make their comments on the situation and what the whole shutdown is about. And the gist of what I heard as well, that when this whole thing first came out, was the fact that foreigners are coming into Alex and building shacks. And my response to that was, how? Shacks have always been there in Alex for the longest time. So 1, 2, or 3, or however many more shacks now later is not really going to make any difference, because already people in Alex, South African people in Alex, are living in shacks. And then it changed after that to, no, it's not just about the shacks, it's an overall service delivery argument, and yes, warranted. Warranted. The people in Alex need to protest and hold those who are in power accountable. But how about the Alex residents themselves? Are you, as the people of Alex, holding yourselves accountable? I mean, if you are able as Alex residents to mobilize yourselves, in that short space of time, to mobilize yourselves and cause such a shutdown through barricading streets, burning tires, and all the sorts, couldn't you do the same to achieve something more progressive, like cleaning up the dirt that you're complaining about in Alex, instead of holding some government official accountable and the state and saying, no, it's them that need to come here and solve these problems for us? Some of the problems that the residents there in the society of Alex are experiencing are problems that are in their control. It's things that they could solve for themselves. I mean, as I was saying earlier, if you want somebody to help you, you need to first help yourself. And the residents of Alexandra need to get over themselves and get over the fact that there's the state, and just do things for themselves. Forget the state for a moment and just say, you know what are the problems that we have in Alex? The ones that I've heard is obviously service delivery, in the sense of picking up the rubbish and all the sorts. But just that on its own, you telling me all those people that were not at work, had nothing to do, are not going to school, they all managed to mobilize in the hundreds of numbers. You telling me you can't mobilize that very same number of people to come and just clean up even just one street in Alex and eradicate dirt just on one side of Alex? Why not? Because once you start doing that, you'll then start being taken seriously by the state. And over and above that, you'll start taking yourselves seriously as a community and as a society. So it helps nobody in shutting down Alex only just to hold the state accountable. No, it needs to come down to you as individuals within that society and as a community to say, look, are we ourselves helping the situation? For example, so is really mobilizing and shutting down Alex and burning tires, is that really helping the situation in any way? No, it's not. It's just making things worse. If anything, it's telling state and whoever is in a position of power to say that, I guess they don't even think for themselves. Look, we've built them a road. There's a road there, but now they choose to burn tires on it and ruin it. So why should I even go there and pay them any mind? You know what I mean? So that's where it begins for me. Before you even mobilize to go and cry to the state, mobilize amongst yourselves and cry to yourselves. Zikhalele nina first and foremost before you go cry for the state. Because only then will the state wake up to your problems and start solving them. And not only that, once you've done that for yourselves, which is take things into your own hands. And by that, I don't mean now being lawless. I don't mean now, no, I mean mobilizing yourselves to create the kind of community and the kind of environment you would like to see. So you hold each other accountable. If you see your neighbor pissing somewhere, not in a toilet, you stand there and you say, my man, why the hell are you pissing on a street corner? Couldn't you go and find a toilet somewhere? When you see one of your fellow residents throwing their dump out somewhere, why don't you hold them accountable and say, hey, go and pick that ish up? Because we are not trying to build a pigsty here. We are trying to build a proper functioning community where we can all live in a nice, conducive, healthy environment. And by doing that, first and foremost for yourselves, then you have the power to hold anyone else, particularly the state, accountable.